that. The problem is when you do that, because you're going to see in a minute, we're going to, if you have a laser around somewhere, these things are pretty expensive. If you don't have one, you might look around for something really cheap. I just grab anything over there. And that'll allow you to throw a line. The first thing we're going to start doing is combing. And whatever lines we lay down, our roadmap is going to be lost because we're going to have thin setting. So if you can find a little laser to throw over there so you can maintain that line, because that's going to be your starting point, and that's going to assure you that you're going to have a nice square looking tile product. So that's most of the work, laying it out, and now you've got your roadmap. Now you know where you're going to go. Now once you have that, then this is thin set. And normally I would want you to participate, but since we're a little bit under the timing gun here, if I just demonstrate, I mean, this isn't rocket science. It's just basically hard work. And that's why these guys get paid good money, because it's a lot of tedious work, especially when you get to the grouting part, and that's what we're going to be doing a lot of. There's a lot of little grouting going on here. And it's ceramic, right? Porcelain, ceramic? Yeah. Porcelain? Ceramic. Okay, so first thing we do, I'll introduce this little tool, the notch trowel. And normally we wouldn't be using this, although I don't know the size of your job. If it's small like this, well, I'd probably get the pre-mixed stuff, although it's a lot more expensive. You don't have to mix dry. Dry is a lot less expensive. So if you've got a large project, then you'd probably want to do that. But with a small project, you're much better off to get this. This is just the mortar that interfaces, this is the backer board. The backer board is going to go down first. And normally, let's see, what is your substrate? Is it wood?
It'll be plywood.
Plywood, yeah. So you want to actually mechanically mount this. First, when you lay down your backer board, you're going to comb it over the plywood, just as you do on the backer board. So you get down there on the plywood and comb it down. Now the purpose of combing is to equally distribute the thin set. Because if you didn't do that, later when you started laying, you'd have this look to it, and it's a lot harder to fix that. So first you lay this down on the plywood, and once you get it distributed, you just cut it about a 30-degree angle right here, go all the way down. Then you lay down your backer board. This is backer board. You probably get by with a 1/4 inch. There's 1/4 inch and a half, but this is just a small little project, and I'm assuming that the plywood is going to be pretty straight. All you care about is it's straight. So.
Well, actually, I guess we're going to keep it lightly sloping towards the sink.
Sloping towards the sink? Well, because it's going to drain, or what?
Yeah, it'll drain.
Because the sink's going to have a little top.
Yeah, I know. Well, my drain board's good.
I know, but yours were done in 1940.
Yeah, that would be a little tricky. I mean, that's done all the time in tiling a shower.
Yeah.
But normally you wouldn't. Normally you just wouldn't do it. But I mean, I'm not saying you can't do it.
That's a perfect thing, because it moves very slowly. The water goes that direction when you pour water.
That's in the sink. But this is on.
But it's the countertop.
This is the countertop. Yeah. Right.
So
Okay, let's keep going.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, well, no,
Don't divert him.
it isn't something you couldn't do, but then it gets a lot more
Yeah.
tricky.
Complicated,
Yeah, a lot more tricky. Anyway, okay, so that's a notch valve. So you put your backer board down, you mechanically mount it, meaning there's some backer board screws, and you screw it around, and then you can, to assure that you're going to have the best job possible, then you, I always use the analogy drywall.
Mm-hmm.
We have some backer board tape that you lay down to hide the screw marks. Okay, so when you screw it down, you try to get it below this, sort of like this. That's a drywall. That's where you drywall. And then, of course, they didn't do it in this case. You should have taped that. You hit it, hide it. But you would do the same thing with this. You tape it and hide the screw marks, and then you're basically ready to start laying tiles. What I would suggest when you lay the tape down, if you're going to do that, is to just feather it a little bit, the same way you do with drywall. You take a little bit of compound, drywall compound, and you just sort of feather it so it blends in. Now, then, okay, so we had our lines, but now look, we've now lost our lines. So that's why you would sort of get something like this, a little laser beam or something you could throw over it. So now we're going to pretend, and by the way, this is all water soluble, so when you get rid of a part, just throw it in water and clean it up later. And if you started this project, you got something laid down and you're ready to go and you had an emergency, you could actually pick up the thin set and put it back in the tub, put the cap on the tub, and come back later. It'll be just fine. In fact, I'll reuse this again tomorrow. So now we have an invisible line that we're just going to say is just about right there. And we've already assumed where our cut pieces are going to be, and they're going to be on the perimeter. So I'm going to just say this line is right here. So I'm just going to drop this down, and I'm going to look, and this is my line, my imaginary line. I say, okay, I'm right on there, and then I'll take and lay the other one, and I'm again looking at my imaginary line here. It doesn't exist, but I'm saying that's it. Okay, I'm on. You notice I really haven't pressed down on the tile yet because they're really not set yet. So go to my next one. Just forcing now, and I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. You have about 3 hours before this thin set starts setting up. So it gives you really don't want to go that far out because it gets a little bit more difficult to work with. But you've got time. So if you went down a thick course or something like that, and you said, I can't live with that, pick it up. Start all over again. I'm going to show a large grout line here because that's what we're demonstrating. Make sure those corners are good. And if I haven't moved and I haven't said anything yet, and I'm looking here and I'm still okay with my, in this case, fictitious line, I'm saying, okay, I'm right on. If I'm on here, and this, by the way, once you set it, it never moves again, because you know your square. As long as you stay with that, and you use your spacers here, you're always going to be. So I'll just lay another one here. If I didn't lay it in the right, I see a lot of people when they're doing this, they're all nervous. Move it around, not a problem. just stay within yourself. Don't get too far ahead. You're putting them down. And, going up that corner. Up this corner. Still basically on top of the thin set. They haven't been set yet. Clear that up. Clear that up. Take a look at my corners, make sure they're all touching. I didn't change anything over here. I don't want to move that line because that's my square line. Now I start spraying up here. And for this demonstration, this is going to be as good as I'm going to get. So, that's basically, as long as once you've established your lines, your roadmap, and you use your spacers, theoretically, it's going to be square when you get all the way around. And even if it isn't exactly square, it's not going to be noticeable because you're going to have your cuts over here to fix it. Okay, you want to be as square as possible right here. Okay, so that's just laying tile. That's really easy. As I say, this is like elementary stuff. So the next day, you come back after you've got your tile laid. Now we're going to do the grouting part, which is a little bit more tricky. And since I think I was almost out of grout yesterday, well, I'll just grab one.